Welcome to an 11-minute daily posture correction flow. Let's get started. Shaking up the body, loosening the body, feeling the weight of your body on your heels and on your toes. Notice the bounce. Notice that springiness. A great posture is light and bouncy. So feeling that bounce on your heels is important. This is checking to make sure that any compression in your posterior fascial chain is being brought into your awareness. If you're noticing a lack of bounce on your back chain or your front chain, there might be some tension, some decompression that in the process of these flows you're going to loosen up. So this little flow here, I am taller now, IATN. Taking a moment to exhale, to let go, be mindful of your neck. I know there's some common tightness in the back of the neck. We want to feel that head flow. Just for a moment, we want to let go of any tension in our body. I like to start my practices before creating tension to hold a posture as effortless as possible. I let go, and here, by placing my hands on my feet, I can get some extra encouragement to let go and decompress. Stay connected with your breath. Any tensions are infiltrated with your inhale and let go with your exhale. Moving into a deep squat. If you haven't noticed, I have an 85-degree structural kyphosis scoliosis, so my T10 vertebrae is wedge-shaped, but that doesn't mean that I don't do anything to build the best posture that I can achieve. I've been sharing my journey here as well as inside of theposturedojo.com, where I'm sharing the full Height Maximus protocol for you to build your best posture, no matter what type of structural compromises you may have. So here, moving into the hip hinge. Now, this hip hinge is an incredible one for scoliosis, but especially kyphosis. I'm adding a bounce in this one to loosen up tension that I may be feeling. Some of these poses you'll recognize are primarily static. I like to add in bounce and motion into these just to kind of shaken up and loosen tension. That ultimately is one of my main priorities, is identifying and releasing tension. So here, by elongating through the back of the head, by tucking my butt, my glutes down, by bracing my lower abdominal core, extending my thoracic, and breathing into the diaphragm. So breathing into the sides and the back of the diaphragm, getting all types of release happening there. The hip hinge is one of those core daily essentials. Here we're moving into the totally twisted. This is from the guys over at Human Garage. Shout out to Gary. This totally twisted, place your left foot over the right foot, your left arm under your right elbow, and you turn your head the other way as if you would take two hands of a towel. And that's essentially the power of these fascial maneuvers. Understanding that we have a webbing, a connective layer of tissue that goes from our toes to our tongue. So your tongue, you'll notice I'm putting my tongue into the side of my cheek during these positions. That is to accentuate the twist, the ringing effect. We have a bunch of spinal fluid that is maneuvered through this. As we ring it, we're compressing it. We're actually delivering nutrients to the brain through the spinal column as we do that. So now I'm moving into some sweeps. These are great for addressing any hamstring tension. As we get imbalances higher up, we get some tension in the hamstrings. This is a great one to sweep through. As you become aware of that tension, again, infiltrating with the inhale, replacing that tension, that tightness, not with force, not with resistance, not with wincing and pain. We're replacing it with calm, relaxed exhales. That's how we regulate our nervous system in those positions. Time to move into a bit more of a fortification exercise here, which is the front plank on the knees. You might recognize this from functional patterns. This is a great plank that, again, I'm going to be activating and tucking my glutes. I'm going to be bracing my lower abdominal core, and I'm attempting for a straight line from the back of my head. Imagining a broomstick extending from the back of my head all the way down over the top of my glutes. Again, you'll find that most of these exercises are designed for elongation. Here I'm adding a little bit of movement in there so I can actually start building some strength in the spiral lines. So we have some spiral fascia lines as well that go up each one of our legs, crisscrosses around our back as well as our front, and then goes along our arms. So when we activate our cross-lateral movements like that, we're essentially tapping into those myofascial lines. If we have imbalances like scoliosis or kyphosis, these myofascial bands can get impinged, they can get tight, they can get compressed, they can get twisted, and so essentially these movements are like strumming the chords and ironing out those bands. Now we're moving to the flying side plank. This position is one of the poses by Dr. Lauren Fishburne, which has been shown to correct scoliosis in a number of patients in a clinical study. So this is one of those core movements that I'm doing. You do want to change this. This does target thoracic curves, and you want to train about 75% of the time with the convex side of your thoracic curve facing down. It's just a general rule of thumb because the physics of this movement promote any kind of convex side that's down. The upper side of your body is really activating and forcing the body into alignment. So make sure to watch for good form on this. Watch for those straight lines from your toes to your knees, to your hips, to your shoulders, to your head, and along your arms as well. Look for those straight lines. I'm adding in a bit of movement here just to dislodge any tension. Some of these isometric exercises can tighten and already tighten parts, or if I have any tightness in my psoas or my hips or my hamstring, I can start feeling that tension build. So moving the feet and the legs in this position just help loosen that and alleviate that tension in a way which I really like, because it actually kind of wriggles in the alignment. It actually kind of creates space and an opportunity for that alignment to happen. So sometimes tension will happen right before the alignment, and those are a very good way to do that. Okay? Standing up, shaking it off, and I'm going to move into a inverted kind of handstand or a supported handstand. This one is just a light one to get some more decompression. You get a lot of people suggesting, hanging throughout the day is amazing because it's decompressive, and then you get other people suggesting that going upside down is very good as well. So getting some upside down time each day is a very good idea. This is an assisted way to do that. In order for me to pull off this movement, there's a lot of different things that have needed to happen in my body. A few years ago, I wouldn't have been able to do this due to the compensations and the imbalances and inactivated muscles. There was just so much going on. So in order for my body to actually pull off this movement, I had to get into alignment. Adding in strength into these routines forces alignment to happen in the body. Great movements and great positions force alignment. So I Could get a bit more vertical on those ones, but for now, for this morning, just getting warmed up, I think that's a good start. So I'm going to finish off here with a half moon. So the half moon is one of those daily flows, amazing hip opener. Finding some support on my leg here, and I can kind of move into this. Now, this movement you can actually do on your knee, so you can just use your knee and your elbow on this position. I could instead of just having my bottom hand in the air, I could also use a yoga block. But this is an amazing one once you've got it dialed in. You could also use a yoga band to hold up your feet with your hand. So there are variations of this. I've got some easier variations of that in some other videos. But one key point here is that I'm going for the straight lines once again. I've got a bit of curve there in my knee, which I can only see from this angle. So do record yourself and keep aiming for those straight lines.